Hey everyone, it's Marjorie Ness. I am a little further away from the camera today because we're going to do some yoga. Let me know if you are live and you can see me. Been doing this on my phone, but now I'm doing it on my camera. And it is officially spring. The equinox was on Tuesday, and I wrote a blog post about one of the best things that you can do is to get moving in the spring. So if we think about what's happening in nature, the snow, which I know you guys in the Northeast are having a lot of, but it's like that wet, heavy snow, and the sun is shining the day after, so it melts. So the ground is very heavy and wet and moist. And the same kind of things is happening in our body. So we want to get things moving and get rid of what our body doesn't need from the winter. So there are a number of ways to do that. And my quick tip today is going to be about getting moving. Our joints can be stiff and heavy, so we want to get them moving as well. I do want to announce that my Spring Reset and Renew program starts on April 4th. So it's in a little bit less than 2 weeks. It is a perfect reset for you after the winter to drop the excess weight, to relieve your joint pain, to sleep better, and to have more energy. So if that sounds like something that you would like, I have the link below. It's actually the pinned post on this group link. And I will be covering different ways to get moving on the mat to help with your joint pain. I do that in the group program, but the group is really designed to help be supportive because there are a number of people in it. I do limit the space, so there's only 7 spaces left. And I hope you will join us. I'm going to be changing the format after this spring, so it's going to be a much longer program. So if you're feeling like 3 weeks is about enough for me, then I hope you'll join us starting April 4th. And we've got live webinars and a whole online course where you learn everything. And then our webinars are interactive and we all get to see each other. So it's really a way of connecting through community. So since I'm broadcasting in a different room, I thought I would share the essential oil that I'm using. It's called Energize, and it's from Rocky Mountain, which I really like. There's only 2 ingredients, lime and clove bud. So if you don't have this particular blend, but you have lime and clove, you could make it. It smells really nice to diffuse. And you can also rub it in your hand. I don't know. I like it. I like it better diffused. If it seems a little strong, just put it on my hands. So let's take a moment. If you're just joining us and you're new, welcome. We're going to do some simple movements to help with joint pain and to get the body moving after this very stagnant time of winter that we're coming out of since the solstice. So start by just taking a moment. If you're watching on the recording, you can pause and get a mat out, although you don't really need a mat for this practice, but you might want a blanket or a towel underneath your knees. So just starting and sitting and attuning to your breath. So our bodies are actually not that still. We are breathing, pulsating, absorbing and assimilating and digesting. So there's always movement in the body, even if we're still. So just take a moment and feel that movement. And I want you to take your hands on your belly and expand the belly away from the spine. Good. And we'll start with some simple movements with the hands, just circling the wrists around. And we can all use some of this because we're at the computer, we're on the phone, just getting some simple movements into the hands. And this is something that you could do when you're sitting and watching TV, or if you're taking a break on the computer and you're watching something, just move your fingers around, move each little finger around, move your wrists to circle around, move your fingers in the opposite directions. And if you're just joining us, say hi so I know who you are and where you're from. And if you're trying these movements along with me, circle the wrists again a little bit more. So if you hear some noise in the background, I live across the street from the football field, the high school football fields here on La Jolla. And apparently now on Thursday afternoons, they have track practice or lacrosse games. So you might hear a little bit about that in the background. Okay, take a deep breath in. You're going to inhale and extend your hands away from you. So you're interlacing your fingers, your palms are facing away from you. If you're just joining live, type in that you're here so I know. And then you're going to interlace your fingers the other way with the opposite finger on top. And again, stretching. Good. And then we're going to moving the arms in and out. So if you've got something going on in your lower body, you don't need to walk, you don't need to do intense sun salutations. You can just move the arms back and forth like this. I'm going to switch to the side so you can see. Inhaling forward and back, sitting up nice and tall. You can do this in a chair or you can sit up on something. I think that's Betty. Hi, Betty. Could not find you tonight. I'm here. I'm glad you found us. Good. So just moving the arms in and out. Creating a little bit of engagement in the shoulders as you move the arms back and forth. And using your breath here. So I want you to inhale the hands forward and exhale the hands out. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 3 more. Good. And slowly release your arms by your sides. Just pause and take a moment. Feel the movement, feel the circulation that's going on. It's not a mirror that I'm looking at. I'm seeing myself as exactly as you're seeing me. So as I move, it's like the opposite of what I would think. Good. And now we're going to take the arms out to the sides. And again, we're going to move them in and out. So super simple things. If you've got anything going on with your wrists, with your elbows, we're adding circulation to the body. I know this is super simple for so many of you, but for some of you, you haven't been moving for a while. So this is going to feel like a lot, and that's okay. We start exactly where we are. I remember when I first started yoga, which was over 20 years ago now, it was so hard for me. And I was 20 years younger then. And I mean, I think about the things that took me so long to learn, and it took as long as it took, but now, you know, I really have a deep connection with my body. Good. Deep breath in. And now we're going to twist, taking the hands on top of the shoulders, and we're going to twist. And I want you to inhale left and exhale right. Inhale left and exhale right. Ten, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And inhale, lift up, and exhale your arms by your side. If you have any limitation in your shoulders and you can only take the arms out like that, that's totally fine. A modification for that would just to keep your arms by your side. So I'm giving you guys tons of modifications because I know that some of you have injuries and that your joints are not feeling great, but these are small movements to get the gunk out of the body. We've got to keep moving, and that means moving our body, moving and eliminating properly, and all of these things I go into more deeply in the Reset and Renew program, which starts on April 4th, and the link is above. It's the pinned post. Okay, so now we're going to take the arms out and up, and for those of you that do sun salutations, you know these quite well. So you'll inhale, arms out to the side and up, and you'll exhale your arms down by your sides. If you have any limitations, you can always take the arms just to this point. Okay, I'm going to take them all the way up and all the way back down. 3 more like that. 2 and 1. Good. And then we're going to add a little movement to the pelvis. So you're going to start with your hands on your shins. I'm just scooting back a little bit more. And you're going to inhale forward and exhale back. So those of you that know cat and cow, this is very similar to cat and cow, but we're doing it seated. And you can do this sitting in a chair as well. I'm not sitting up on a blanket or a cushion, but you definitely could. So inhaling forward and exhaling back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So we're warming up the vertebrae of the spine. We're using the abdominal muscles. All of this is getting things moving. Now I'm going to take it slightly differently. I'm going to take the hands onto the knees. So I want you guys to see that moving doesn't have to mean going for a run. Walking is great if you can do that, but I know some of you have some injuries in your ankles and your feet, and walking is not so easy right now. So this is a chance for you to just, wherever you're sitting, just be moving the body little by little. I will do 1 or 2 modified sun salutations in a minute or two. So for those of you that are ready for that, you can. But I wanted just you to see that there are things that you can be moving even while you're sitting, ways that you can be moving the body even when you're sitting. Good. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Good. We're going to take a little seated twist. So we're going to keep the legs crossed. You'll inhale, lift and lengthen. You're going to exhale to your side. You'll twist to your left side so that I'm mirroring you. And with each breath in, you lift and lengthen. There's still movement, even in the stillness, as you exhale. Use your fingertips behind you on the floor to move the low back in and up. So these little micro movements help to keep the energy in the body flowing. We're going to use the breath in to come back to center and exhale completely. Inhale again, lift, and exhale, twist to the other side. You can see I'm using my fingertips behind me to lift up. Good. One more breath here. And come on back to center. And exhale your arms by your sides. Good. We're going to come over onto all fours. And you can always pad up your knees here with a blanket. And we're just going to start to make little movements with the hips around the spine. Dempsey's making an appearance. Dempsey's doing a dog pose. I did not plan that. Hi, Demps. You guys can see that's my golden retriever. That's Dempsey. He turns 11 today. So it's his birthday. He's getting a lot of birthday love on Facebook. And switch directions. So moving the stagnation out of the body from winter. Good. And inhale back to center. You're going to walk your hands forward. So we call this puppy pose, and Dempsey's timing was fantastic as usual. So it's a dog pose with your knees on the floor. So we're not going to lift the knees up yet. I want everybody to be able to access this. If your arms are not going above your head these days, you can keep your arms right in front of you. That's no problem. Just going to check in. Hi, Marjorie and Dempsey. Hi, Mandy. So we're just getting things moving. Good. And then from here, you're going to inhale. You're going to walk your hands back, come up onto your knees, lift your arms out and up, and then you're going to exhale back into child's pose. You're going to inhale and lift. He does this. This is not planned, you guys. I promise you. And then you're going to bring your arms out in front of you into that puppy pose. And then you're going to inhale and rise up once again. Arms out to the sides. And then arms by your sides, head to the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands down, stretch back, puppy pose. Inhale, all fours. And stretch back into child's pose. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, all the way back down. Breathing here. And just finding these little ways to move. So coming back into puppy pose, hands are out in front of you. You don't need a puppy to do this. And this is just a great preparation for dog pose, whether or not you come into it. And again, if your shoulders are restricted here, you'll just do it like this. and stretch your hips back, but you'll still be getting that opening in the chest. For those of you that want to go a little bit further, you're going to keep your hips moving back and lift them up into a dog pose. Deep breath in and exhale. Come on down. Sit back on your heels. Hi, Ruth. How are you? Good. So we're going to come back to sit. See if there are any other comments. So those are some super simple movements that you can do. The dog pose sequence. You want to see the dog pose sequence again? Going back from puppy pose into dog pose. I'll show that again. So you're here, and then you're going to lift your hips up. So keep that nice long length in the spine. And if you were doing a traditional sun salutation, you'd come forward into plank. You'd lower your knees down, your hips down, and your belly down. And there you are in Cobra. I'm very lucky that I have the support of my chest here because I don't have to do as much work. And then I press back to all fours, back through puppy pose, and back to dog pose. Is this good for seniors? Betty wants to know, is this good for seniors? I would say that in general, absolutely. The dog pose might be too much based on their bone health, but you could also do it for a senior. You could do it at the wall. But this movement with the hands, with the feet, with the wrists, with the arms out and up, I would say absolutely, it's great for them. You love the simple poses, Ruth. I'm so glad. There are so many simple things, and notice you guys, I didn't do any standing poses because those can be a lot, especially for anybody with joint pain. So I want to keep it simple and give you guys things that you can do on your own. So I'm going to wait and see if there are other questions. Betty, did that answer about the dog pose sequence? And I'm curious, Betty, you were looking for a different name for your senior yoga class, and I'm wondering what you decided on. Perfect. I can't remember what I told you, but I came up with a couple of other names, so I'd love to hear. So remembering, and for those of you that do sun salutations, one of my tricks or little ways to get into a habit is to use the date. So today's the 22nd. 22 sun salutations is quite a bit. Certainly doable, but it would take quite a bit of time. So I take the 22 and I double it, and that's 4 sun salutations. And then tomorrow you've got 5, and the next day you've got 6. When it turns April 1st, a week from Sunday, you're back to 1. So you can do it however you like. You can go up all the way to 30 at the end of the month. But this is a way that each day you're building on what you're doing and getting some movement in the morning. It's one of the tenets of Ayurveda. And for those of you who are new to Ayurveda, it means science of life. It's really how to live in a body. And when we get up, we want to get moving, especially at this time of year. The body needs to release what it doesn't need from the winter time. What about hand and wrist pain and weight bearing? You named it Yoga for Healthy Aging. Perfect. Yeah, so Martha, I think you're just coming on. So I did a lot of wrist things with opening like that. If anybody's got hand and wrist pain, they can make fists, or they can come down onto their forearms. Those are 2 options. And you can always do the poses at the wall, where the hands are at the wall and you're not bearing any weight at all. Does that make sense? And if you go back to the beginning of the practice, I was doing some fingers and hands and all those kinds of poses for joint pain. Great, I'm glad that helped. Any other questions, you guys? I just want to keep these very short and sweet, so you get some simple ideas that aren't like, oh, I have to do an hour yoga class, or I have to go to an hour and 15-minute yoga class. What we do every day matters more than what we do once in a while. So if you're getting to yoga class once a week, that's fantastic. But know that you can add these 5-minute, 10-minute movements once or twice a day, and and over time that adds up. Like 5 minutes a day times 6, that's an extra 30 minutes a week. Good ideas for the wrists. I'm glad, Ruth. All right, you guys, keep posting on the types of videos you would like me to cover, the areas of the body that you'd like me to cover, or if you'd like alternatives to poses that you're already doing that maybe aren't working for you, so I can adjust them in the future. So just a reminder, Reset and Renew starts April 4th. That's Wednesday, April 4th. It's a 3-week program that's designed to help you relieve your joint pain, sleep better, increase your energy, and so much more. It is an online program, so we meet virtually, kind of like this, but not exactly. There's some other platforms. And we do much more than yoga. It's really about looking at what you're putting in and on your body, self-care practices, eating practices, and giving your body a break from a lot of what's contributing to some of this pain in the body and all those other things that I talked about. So Betty says she cannot wait. A number of you are also joining us. I only have 7 spots left, so don't delay. The link is above this video in the pinned post. You can also email me if you have any questions, marjorieness@gmail.com. Okay, everybody, have a good evening. Happy spring. Bye.